What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Hero Pro. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here. We are back with a brand new video for you guys. And listen, man, we have a lot to get through. This is a very, very special video. As you guys can see, I'm going to be doing my top 5 prospect fits for the Miami Heat in the 2024 NBA draft. I love doing this type of content. You know, I did the content where I talked about the trades. I did a live stream yesterday. Shout out to everybody who came through. That was, I think the live stream that was the most popping out of the 4 that I did. I think I had like a ton of people in there. It was really, really fun. Make sure you guys keep tuning in for those, man. You guys keep showing a lot of love for those. So I will be doing more of those because you guys seem to love them a lot. But the off-season content does not stop. We're going to be talking about the draft now. I didn't talk about the draft on this channel yet. And if you guys do not know, you guys probably know this about me. I'm a huge, huge draft fan. I love NCAA basketball. I love college basketball. I love it because of this. I can do this any day of the week. I can do this in my sleep. I've watched all these prospects extensively for the past year, even some for the past 2 years who are older than, you know, first-year players. So because of that, I'm a very, very huge, you know, fan of the college basketball circuit. I love to see the upcoming crop of players and what they project to be, who I think their best team fits are. And not saying I'm an expert by any means, but I'm just a huge fan of college basketball. So I definitely do know what I'm talking about when it comes to, you know, these players and all this. And I do want to kind of give you guys a breakdown for some people who might not have watched as much college basketball. Kind of a breakdown of, you know, what I think these players project to be and why I think the Heat should, you know, look at these players on my list of, you know, the 5 best fits. Now, these are not necessarily going to be like the best players. And obviously, like, I did not, you know, include anybody who's projected to go top 10 or anywhere close to that because just because I just didn't feel like it was going to be realistic. We have the 15th overall pick, so it wouldn't really make sense for me to look at anybody who's projected to go top 10, and I have a pretty good feeling of who's going to be a top 10 pick and who's not. So all of these guys are going to be players who are like probably projected to be anywhere from 10 to 30. So I have a few honorable mentions as well. I wanted to do a list of 10 people, but I didn't want to make the video too long, so I'm doing a list of 5 people with 5 honorable mentions. But we're just gonna get right into it. Let's just, you know, start it off right here. Make sure, as always, to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on post notifications, and you guys know what to do with the second channel, Twitter. That's in the description. And yeah, we can get right into it. So as y'all can see, these are the honorable mentions on your screen now. There are 5 honorable mentions. Kyle Filipowski out of Duke, Tidjane Saloon out of France. I think he played for Cholet in France. I think that's the name of the team. Carlton Carrington from Pitt, Deron Holmes from Dayton, and Tristan Da Silva from Colorado. These are the honorable mentions, so I didn't really go into deep detail about these guys, but I will be doing so for the next 5 players. So these upcoming 5 are my 5 favorite fits of the Miami Heat and their draft process in no order. I just listed, you know, 5 players, but you guys can kind of tell me which one is your favorite and which one is your least favorite. So let's get right into it. At the first one that we have is Isaiah Collier, who is a point guard out of USC. His stats were 16.3 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, and 4.7 assists per game. And he shot it at 49% from the field, 34 from the 3, and 67 from the free throw line. Isaiah Collier is a very, very strong, stocky, oversized point guard. You know, he's a guard, but he, you know, the way that he's built, he's kind of built like a running back or a linebacker. He's a very, very strong, you know, guard. He has a lot of muscle on him, and he's just a very, very oversized, bigger guard. Like when you see him on the floor, he seems a lot bigger than his matchups. Because of that, he can use his size, and he's also very speedy. A lot of people who are bigger, they don't possess the speed, but he possesses both. He has the size and he has the speed to constantly just get to the rim, and he can use his size and use his strength to finish at the rim consistently. Isaiah Collier has a very good, you know, defensive tools, and when he's locked in defensively, he can be a very good defender because, you know, he doesn't get pushed around or anything like that. He's also fast, so he has the physical tools to be a very good defender. With him, it's just about whether he's engaged defensively or not. Sometimes he kind of takes plays off defensively, but when he's engaged, he's an extremely good defender. And he's also a very, very good finisher at the rim, like I said. Now, the jump shot is the biggest question mark on Isaiah Collier. He's not the most consistent shooter at all. You guys can see the splits right there. It's not that great. 67% from the free throw line is pretty bad for a point guard. So because of that, that is the only that's the biggest glaring weakness in his game is the shooting ability from the 3-point line and from the free throw line. So he struggles to kind of hit pull-up jump shots too. He's not really the best shooter in general, and he turns the ball over a little bit. I think he averaged about 3 turnovers per game in college this year. Obviously, he played on that team with Bronny and Boogie Ellis and them. So that team was pretty disappointing, man. The USC team, I had high hopes for them, but they just really struggled. They didn't even make the tournament. So yeah, that is who I have as one of my fits for the Heat. He's projected to be in that range. My pro comp for him is Eric Bledsoe, kind of similar guard. Eric Bledsoe will get to the rim. He's a bigger guard. I think people used to call Eric Bledsoe like baby LeBron because of how he was built. It's very similar to Isaiah Collier in that regard. But these comps are not who I think they're gonna be. These are just who I think they play like. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm projecting them to become Eric Bledsoe. I'm just saying this is who he plays like, and this is kind of who I see the play style matching up to. So that is one of the prospects I have. The second one that I have, I'm really, really high on this guy. It's Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek is my number 2 player. He's, again, not in any order, but he's the second player, I guess, on the list. I'm a huge fan of Tyler Kolek, man. I think, he is a very, very, he just has a lot of the intangible things that Pat Riley in the front office will love. He has the toughness, he has the leadership, but just on the floor, you see his stats, 15, 5, and 8 assists. He's a very good facilitator. He shot it at 40% almost from 3. Almost shot 50, 40, 90. If his free throw splits were a little bit, better, if he shot 90 from the line instead of 85, he would be extremely efficient, one of the most efficient players in college basketball. But he still is. Those splits are great. He's a very good facilitator. He has really good court vision, high IQ player, very crafty. He's not the biggest or strongest or the fastest, any of those. He's, he lacks in all of that in all those departments, but he's a very good shooter. He just gets to his spots effectively. He's very crafty with it. I'm surprised he's not projected higher. A lot of people are talking him in the second round. I would take him as a lock in the first round. I think if he falls to the second round, that is a steal for me. I'm super high on this kid. I think he is a extremely good leader. He led that Marquette team. You would see the difference when he was off the floor. Even in that first game, I think Marquette played who did they play? Western Kentucky, or they played somebody in the first the round of 64 in the NCAA tournament, and he was questionable for that game. And a lot of people were picking the upset because he was questionable. He ended up playing and they ended up winning, but you can see the difference when he is on the floor and when he's not. I compared it to TJ McConnell. I did want to kind of put him very similar to Goran Dragic. He's very similar to Dragic in my opinion. I have a very, very similar grading on Dragic's play and his play. It's extremely similar to Dragic, but I put TJ McConnell because I feel like Dragic was Dragic was a really, really good player. I didn't want to compare a guy who's projected in this range to Goran Dragic. That would be kind of disrespectful to Goran. So I didn't want to give any of these guys superstar comparisons or all-star comparisons. Dragic did make an all-star team, so I wanted to give them a little bit of a role player type comps because that's who you're projected to get at the 15th overall pick. Not every player in the draft is going to be a star, especially in this draft. We don't really have too many guys who are loaded with star potential. It's a very deep class full of really good role players, and TJ McConnell, we all know firsthand what he does to the Heat, but he is a very, very good player. He changed that game against the Bucks in Game 6 this series, and Tyler Kolek is very similar to him, except he's left-handed, but he gets to his spots that, if you all watch TJ McConnell shoot that mid-range jump shot, it's almost automatic every time he shoots it. Same with Tyler Kolek. He just gets to his spots. He's a winning player. He's a very, very good leader, and he just has that confidence and swag to him, man. He talks trash. He'll go at players. He doesn't care who you are. He just has that erratic confidence, and that you love that about a guy like Tyler Kolek. If he's on your team, you love him. If you're gonna play against him, you hate him. Very similar to TJ McConnell, very crafty, scrappy pest. You know what I'm saying? So I love Tyler Kolek. I would probably take him in the top 20. I'm not even gonna lie. People have him going in the second round. I would take him really high, in my opinion. I think he's a really good player. But that is my second prospect. My third prospect is none other than Ryan Dunn. Now, Ryan Dunn is a guy that is a very, very prototypical Heat culture fit, because Ryan Dunn is a defensive beast. He is the best defensive player in the class. I don't even think it's a discussion, in my opinion. Maybe Alex Sarr. I don't know. Ryan Dunn is just a freak defensively, man. He is a very, very good defender. Like, he can guard 1 through 4. I even trust him on some 5s, but I just think unless he bulks up a little bit, I don't think he can guard centers consistently. But very, very, very good defender. But as good of a defender he is, as bad of a shooter he is. It's kind of night and day. Like, when you watch Ryan Dunn and when you watch his shooting, you're like, bro, how is this guy even projected to go in the draft? And then you watch his defense, you're like, oh, that's why. Because his defense is so good that an NBA team will be like, you know what, we'll develop your shot. We'll make your jump shot better. We'll take a chance on you. Your defense is so good that we can afford for you not to be a good shooter from day one. And he's an extremely versatile athlete. He can play multiple positions. He kind of was carrying them in that game against Colorado. I don't know if y'all remember in the it was like the game to get in the tournament, and it was Colorado Virginia. Colorado won that game, or was it Colorado State? I think it was Colorado State. It was one of the two. Yeah, he was playing really well against them, man. He was doing a lot of the heavy lifting for that Virginia team early, and he was making his mid-range shots as well. Like, and I was like, if he's making this shot consistently, then this guy is a solidified top 10 pick in my opinion, because the only thing really holding him back is the offensive game. I think he's a good finisher at the rim, and I think he is a very good athlete, but the shooting ability is something that teams can scheme against. Like, we can just play him off the floor if he's not shooting the ball well, but his defense alone is giving him first round buzz. So because of that, like, if he just develops his shot a little bit, it's over. Like, he's a top 10 prospect in my opinion if he just develops his shot. Like, that's the only thing missing from his game in my opinion. I compared him to Herb Jones. Herb Jones is a guy who shoots a lot better now, but in college, I think he also shot in the 20s from 3. Like, he wasn't a good shooter at the 3-point line from college either. So, and Herb Jones was SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Like, really good defender as well. So yeah, I just compared him to Herb Jones. I think it's a very straightforward comparison, but that is my third prospect. My fourth prospect is Tyler Smith, who played, I guess, in the G League Ignite. See, not a lot of people would probably have watched Tyler Smith because he did play in the G League Ignite. He didn't play for a college or anything like that, so he didn't really get the attention or buzz that I think he should have gotten. But I think this guy is really good, man. I think he's a 6'11" forward in my opinion. I don't think he's a center. He's very mobile for his size. We can move around really well. To me, he is a very good shooter. Now, his shooting splits are not the best. Like, 36% from 3 is, you know, it's good, but it's not like wowing you, I guess. But from what I've seen of this kid, like, he shoots the ball really well for his size. Like, 36% for a big is a good percentage from 3. That's how I feel. You know, I don't think really you expect bigs to be shooting 40% from 3. Like, it's like consistently, that's just not how it's going to work. So I don't mind his percentage from 3 whatsoever, or from the free throw line. Above 70% from the free throw line for a center or power forward is kind of what you ask for anyway. I also think he's a sneaky athletic, you know, player. I think he has a high motor. I think he can, you know, finish at the rim. He can dunk on you if you need him to. Like, he's not the best at, like, you know, taking advantage of smaller matchups by posting them up, but he'll shoot over you and he'll probably blow past bigger players with his quickness, because he's a very quick and nimble player for his size. Defensively is like the concern for him. He's not the best defender. He's okay on the ball, like, and he's even shown flashes of being like a weak side rim protector, but off the ball sometimes you'll kind of be lost. He'll have these miscommunications sometimes. Like, that's the one thing with him defensively, is like the glaring weakness. I don't really expect Tyler Smith to be available at 15. I think he'll probably go like somewhere between 10 to 15, but if he is available, I think this is probably the best prospect, you know, available by, like, you know, mock drafts and big board projections. Like, he's definitely ranked the highest out of the 5 that I'm about to name. So I don't know if he's going to be there at 15 for sure, but there is a chance because he's not projected to go top 10. So I think he'll go somewhere like either late lottery, or he'll probably go like, you know, 15, 16. Like, he will definitely not drop past 20 for sure. This is a guy that's going to be taken before 20, 100%. So, and I compared him to PJ Washington. PJ Washington, kind of similar to him, can shoot the ball a little bit. He was a guy that I actually wanted to acquire when he was a Hornet, but obviously the Mavs got him, and shoot the ball for his size is, I think if Tyler Smith improves his defense, I think he's a for sure lock to be a top 10 prospect. But the defensive concerns are a real thing, and I do think like at his size, when his ability to shoot the ball, like he can provide shooting, he can provide spacing, and he can play next to Bam if you want to put him next to Bam, if you want to play him spot minutes next to Bam, or he can even back you up at the 5 and play the backup center position. So he's very versatile. He can play multiple positions. For the 4 or the 5, depending on if you want to play small or big, and he can fit both. So I think he's a very, very good prospect for that reason. That's why I have him on my list. And at number 1, I have Devin Carter, who's from Miami, whose dad, Anthony Carter, played for Miami. So this is a guy that the Heat will probably be familiar with. They'll be familiar with all these guys, but especially Devin Carter. I love Devin Carter's game. This is a guy. If you guys are not familiar with Devin Carter, go watch Devin Carter right now, and you will see Heat culture, Heat pick written all over this kid. This guy is a 6'3" rebounding machine, defensive machine. Like, he is elite. He averages 9 rebounds per game at the guard position. And not only that, he averaged 20 points per game as well. He's shooting splits. He shot the ball a lot better this year than he did last year. His shooting, I think, improved a ton. I think he only made 35 threes the year before. This year, he made about 85, 90. So his shooting has improved tremendously. He's a very, very, good finisher at the rim because he's crafty. He's not the most athletic or biggest by any means, but he'll finish at the rim with his craftiness. He'll contort his body and finish at the rim by being crafty. He's very, very quick, can get by players easily, can play both on or off the ball. He's not the best playmaker with his vision or anything like that, but can handle the ball for sure. He can run the offense if you need him to, but he can also play off the ball, and his shooting ability has improved. It's not like a big strength by any means, but it's improved to where you can trust him to play off the ball and be a spot-up shooter if need be. He's just a very versatile player, man. I can see him playing 1, 2, or 3. Like, that's just how versatile he is. He plays so much bigger than 6'3". And you know who reminds me of him? Josh Hart. Josh Hart, DeAnthony Melton. These bigger, not bigger, but like the guards who play bigger than they are. Josh Hart is 6'4", and he plays like he's a center. Like, it's crazy. And Devin Carter is not going to be playing like a center. Devin Carter is much quicker than Josh Hart, but him and Josh Hart are very, very similar in that sense because they're elite defenders, elite rebounders. You can put them on, play on a bunch of players who, they'll think it's a mismatch, but it won't be a mismatch because of how competitive and gritty they are. That's why I have him compared to Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart for catching that straight from Jimmy yesterday, by the way. But yeah, Devin Carter, man, he is a prototypical Heat culture pick. Now, I don't know if we're going to take him at 15 because he's not projected to go at 15. He's projected to go late first round, which is like 20s, 30s, 40s. Very similar to like the Tyler Kolek range. Him and Tyler Kolek are kind of in the same boat with their, projections. If I run through all these players, Tyler Smith is definitely projected to be the highest. And Isaiah Collier is in that boat as well. Him and Tyler Smith are projected to be the highest out of these 5. Then you probably have Ryan Dunn because of his like elite defense. Like, the teams just are valuing that a lot. And then you probably have Kolek and Devin Carter. So that is, what they're projected to be as like in order as to like, from draft boards and big boards and mock drafts from experts and these scouts that I've seen online. So I don't know if we're going to take Devin Carter at 15, but we should definitely look to take him because I feel like he's the best fit on here. He was the last player for a reason. I wanted to save him for the end so you guys could see who my like absolute best fit was. Again, this wasn't in any order, but Devin Carter was definitely the best one for as far as fit is concerned for the Miami Heat because he's from Miami. He understands what it takes, man. I think he went to Coral Gables. His dad played for Miami. Like, he just has ties with the organization already. Like, he's very good defensively, very good rebounder. He's an improved shooter, can finish at the rim. Like, what more do you ask for? That's why he's my the most, I guess, or the best fit for the Miami Heat to select at that 15th overall pick slot. So yeah, that is who I have. those are the 5 players. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Your favorite fit, your least favorite fit. If there's anybody I missed that you guys wanted me to name, again, I only could name 5 players, guys, so cut me some slack on that. But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And yep, I will see y'all later as always. Peace.